One of the few advantages of dying from a grade 3, stage 3 endometrial cancer, recurrent and metastasized to the liver and abdomen, is that you have time to write your own obituary. The other advantages are no longer bothering with sunscreen and no longer worrying about your cholesterol. To wit, I was born in Seattle on August 10th, 1952 at Northgate Hospital, since torn down at Northgate Mall. Grew up in Shoreline, attended Shorecrest High, graduated from the University of Washington in 1975 with a Bachelor of Arts in History. Aside from 8 memorable months lived in New York City when I was 19, and where I worked happily and incessantly on the telephone order board for B. Altman and Company, I was a lifelong Seattle resident. In my professional life, I was a freelance writer, editor, and proofreader. Among career honors, I received a first place Society of Professional Journalists Award for humorous writing for my column Jane Explains, which ran from 1999 to 2005 in the Jet City Maven, later called the Seattle Sun. Also won first place in the mainstream novel category of the 2009 Pacific Northwest Writers Association Literary Contest for my comic novel, The Betty Davis Club, available on Amazon. I would demonstrate my keen sense of humor by telling a few jokes here, but the Times charges for these listings by the column inch, and we must move on. Many thanks to Sylvia Farias at the Swedish Medical Institute for encouraging me to be part of this incredibly wise gynecological cancer support group. Thanks as well to the kind-hearted nurses and doctors at the Group Health Capitol Hill Oncology. And thanks to my sister Barbara, who left no stone unturned in helping me get life-extending treatment in my final months. I also want to thank Mrs. Senior, my first grade teacher, for teaching me to read. I loved witty conversation, long walks, and good books. Among my favorite authors were Irish Murdoch, particularly The Sea, and Charles Dickens. I was preceded in death by my generous and loving parents, Michael Gallagher Lauder and Margaret Ann Lauder, nee Robertson, and by my dear younger sister, Julie Marie Lauder. I am survived by my beloved husband, Robert Bob Lee Martz, and our 2 adult children, daughter Tessa Jane Martz and son, Riley William Martz. Also, my dear sisters, Barbara Lauder, Azado, Kathleen Nora Lady, and Patricia Ann Crisp, husband Adrian, and many much loved nieces, nephews, in-laws, and friends. I met Bob Martz at the Central Tavern in Pioneer Square on November 22nd, 1975, which was the luckiest night of my life. We were married on April 7th, 1984. Bobby N, I love you up to the sky. Thank you for all the laughter and the love, for the understanding by standing by me at the end. Tessa and Riley, I love you so much and I'm so proud of you. I wish you such good things. May you every day connect with the brilliancy of your own spirit, and may you always remember that obstacles and the path are not obstacles, they are the path. I believe we are, each of us, connected to every person and everything on this earth. That we are in fact one divine organism living an infinite spiritual existence. Of course we may not always comprehend that, and really that's a discussion for another time. So let's cut to the chase. I was given the gift of life and now I have to give it back. This is hard, but I was a lucky woman who led a lucky existence, and for this I am grateful. I first got sick in January 2010 when the cancer recurred last year and was terminal. I decided to be joyful about having had a full life rather than sad about having to die. Amazingly, this outlook worked for me, well, you know, most of the time. Meditation and the study of Buddhist philosophy also helped me accept what I could not change. At any rate, I am at peace. And on that upbeat note, I take my mortal leave of this rollicking, revolving world, this sun, that moon, that walk around Green Lake, that stroll around the Pike Place Market, the memory of a child's hand in mine. My beloved Bob, Tessa, and Riley, my beloved friends and family, how precious you all have been to me, knowing and loving each one of you was the success story of my life. Metaphorically speaking, we will meet again, joyfully on the other side. Beautiful day. Beautiful day. Happy to have been here. XOXO, Jane/Mom. Jane took advantage of Washington State's Compassionate Death with Dignity Act and died peacefully in her home on July 18th, surrounded by her family. She was 60 years old. At Jane's request, her ashes were scattered in Elliott Bay near Pikes Place Market. Jane and Bob also have a tile on row 41 at the market that says, "Bob and Jane in love. Jane Catherine Lauder." This article was written in 2013. And when I read it back then, I thought it was just so brave of Jane to take her life into her own hands and do what she wanted, how she wanted it. This article made a lot of headlines because not a lot of people write their own obituary, but she did. And I just think she was probably a pretty great person because she sounds like it. And I just thought that she should be remembered.